Well, so let's get on with it. Let's get it on. Greetings and welcome to today's broadcast, the 8th day of July, in this, the year of our Catholic Church, 2025. Because we are living according to the Catholic calendar. We are not living according to the calendar that we should be living according, but we are confined to this 12 months of the year beginning in January, ending in December, 31 days, 1 month, 28 days. We are subjected to that. But if we have a choice, you see, from my academic learning, because I follow astrology, I'm a student of astrology, I'm a student of Hinduism, the Sanskrit, I'm a student of ancient mythology and studies. So I have a wide area of information that takes residency in my mind. And from time to time, it's convenient to tap into that aspect of my brain to see how I can adjust my emotions, my mindset to suit what is trending. And what I can tell you, according to logics, we are now at the beginning of the year. My philosophy will not allow me to subscribe towards the year beginning in January. But if we have to go mainstream, then that's it. But my personal beliefs, the year begins in just around April, May. So we are now coming up to close to the middle part of the year, where everything grows. This part of the year is significant to new beginnings. It's like when the universe opens up her bowels and pour out, give birth to beauty, give birth to sustenance, give birth to blessings. So around this time of the year, you find it's a good time to meditate, a good time to sow, a good time to do good deeds. I mean, you should be doing good deeds all year, but symbolic of growth, new beginnings, new start, around this time, June, July, August, this period, the first 3 months of the year. Hence, you find they call it the hottest time of the year, July, the summer. You get it, don't you? Nonetheless, I want to thank all the kind-hearted people who took the initiative to respond to my invitation and extend their love gift. I want to thank those persons. The time isn't up. If you feel motivated, if you feel inspired, then you are welcome to extend your love gift. It is not just limited to this period, but it's always good to know those who are thinking of you beyond what you're doing. And it's a good thing that I have been able to connect with a good side of some people. I understand that not everybody might be in the position to extend their substantial gift, whatever it is. I just want you to know the fact that you are here, the fact that you are present, that's all the love I need. The fact that you take the time and tune in to all my shows across the platform, and you stick with it for the length of time, I'm grateful. I got you. I have your back because you have my internet. You are there. You're the one who spread the word. You're the one who shared the message. You are the one who says, you know, Doc, I'm praying for your protection. I'm praying for your wholesomeness. I'm praying for your sustenance. I appreciate that because words have power. If all of you forward your positive words my way, if all of you forward your graciousness, your love in expression, if all of you forward that my way, the universe is going to translate that into dollars, is going to translate that into wisdom, is going to translate that into harmony and peace that I need to continue this work. So thank you again for the tangible gifts. I am blessed. I am honored. So if you too are experiencing a new year, if you are experiencing a new year, if your year begins on this day, July 8th, I extend to you my greatest blessings. And those who have experienced it before, if you are doing that tomorrow or whenever, I'll make sure that I put it on my agenda to acknowledge that you have a date with time and you have a date with your existence and you have a date on your calendar so you can reflect back at the opportunity of the person who has made it all possible. Because for me, this time may have been a date that has recurred just to mark the occasion of my birth, but it's my Mother's Day. So instead of wishing me a happy anniversary or birthday, it would be fitting for you to wish my mother a happy Mother's Day. Because upon my birth, she became a mother again. So, rightfully so, every birth date is my Mother's Day. That's how I see it. But welcome, and thanks for being a part of the show today. Let's acknowledge some of the persons who have taken the time to tune in before I come on and start with what the topics I have to deal with right now. Savagery Rose, thank you. Love the tie. Radhika, greetings to you. Mike Carpen, thank you. Greetings. Indira, greetings to you. Shridat, greetings. Pretty Chef, is it? Greetings to you. Padma, greetings. Devika Ramrose, greetings. Beverly Ashley, greetings. Sabrina Love, greetings. Thank you. Salome, greetings. Okay. So thank you very much to all the persons who have taken the time to extend their kind words. But the show must go on. Can you give me a thumbs up if you are getting me loud and clear? Are you getting me loud and clear today? Just give me a thumbs up. I want to know that you are getting me loud and clear. And comment on the video. While you do your chats, comment on the video. Thank you. Yes, Nina Singh, good afternoon to you. Yes, share the video. Comment, because usually the chats are not available after the show. But in the meantime, let's get on with it. I have made several videos and have shared across my social media platforms calling. And I do so, I want to say this now that I'm live. so that all the persons who think that what I've said in those videos, it is AI generated, it's me. All the videos that you see, my voice, I'm recording, I'm in front of the camera, all me. Nothing is scripted. I'm spontaneous. I'm spontaneous. Every information I deliver, every topic I have to pronounce on, it's not rehearsed. Whatever thoughts my position generate at the moment of speaking, I stand behind those thoughts. I stand behind those words. And if you find that I'm being repetitive, it is because I want to convince you that what I'm saying is not an act, it's not drama, it's the actual fact as to what my position is. It's consistent with time. For those of you who have been following me for a number of years and have looked and listened and read what I've spoken of, written, you would understand that I've been consistent to this day. It's not a case where I've upped the tempo or lowered the tempo. This is just me. Always. And I'm passionate about what I said because as a young man, as a kid, as a teenager, I have witnessed abuse that Indians experience by the hand of Afro-Guyanese. I saw that. I saw it. I'm not talking about what people are telling me now. I'm telling you what I've witnessed as a kid. And at that time, these were grown men. The men who were physically abusing the Indians that in the area where I was at the time were grown men picking on Indian men. 4 of them on one, 3 of them on one. It's never one on one. There is never a case that I've witnessed where it's one black guy against one Indian. Never. It's always a group of them pursuing one Indian. Always. Never one on one. Unfair, right? Now I'm telling you what I have witnessed. And if I can go way back in my memory, they're vivid. This is why I talk with such passion. This is why I talk with such passion. Because these experiences, while was traumatic for the victim, I was also traumatized as a kid because I was helpless. I couldn't offer any substantial help to the victim. I couldn't. I spoke on one occasion. I was on my way to school. My best friend at the time was an Indian guy. Best friend, best buddy. We walked together to go to school. And this was a primary school. Just around, we were both in that age group, 12 years, around that. And on our way to school, this group of guys, black guys on bicycles, they were at the bus stop, bus shed. In the area there, let me see if I can recall, Cornelia Ida. That's on the west coast of Demerara. Yeah. It's just after, if you're coming from the city, it's after Blankenberg. No. It's Hague. It's after Hague, between Hague and Anna Katrina. Cornelia Ida, yeah. one of the bus stops there. These group of guys, black guys, all black, saw us both. We were just walking, getting to the school. And they circled this Indian boy. So I stood in front of them, in front of him, and I said, not this time. So one of them grabbed me by the collar, pulled me aside, said, it's none of your business. I said, no, not this time. You got to go through me. Then the large one amongst them, he came and physically lift me up and say, I can throw you aside. I said, go ahead. Because I knew who my father was. I said, go ahead. Do your thing. So because of my confidence and my firmness, they didn't bother. But before, they harassed this kid, would take his bag and, but this time I thought to myself, I'm going to do something about it. So when I stood up and the huge one lifted me up, and I said, go ahead, do what you must. Somehow, they retreated. But the Indian guy, the boy, was so shaken, nervous, he couldn't walk, he was so shaken. That experience stayed in my head. I shared it with my father afterwards, but it stayed in my head. And because of that, these thugs, I don't know where they had come from, but I know they were always picking on Indian boys. The Indian girls, they would pull their hair. These girls have long, they would pull their hair. I saw these things. But they were not doing it to the Africans. I have never witnessed an African child being abused or molested, never. The only kids that I saw that were bullied, harassed, not necessarily from children from the school, but the neighborhood, were Indians. They would pull on the girls' hair, pull their bags. So you always find that the Indian girls had to walk amongst the black girls just to be protected. Just to be protected. The Indian boys had to find themselves in groups with black boys from the school, just so that they don't have to suffer and subject themselves to harassment. That guy who I used to walk with to school, because of what they did, and because I told the father, because the boy's father too, we couldn't walk to school anymore. They robbed me the opportunity to walk to school with my best buddy every day. Those thugs, that group of lowlife, took that from me as a kid. When I got to school, he was already there. His parents would take him. I had to walk alone. And this was a public road. Do you think? Oh, and by the way, as I got older and I became more prominent, I looked for them. I looked for them. But I never saw them again. As an adult, in my early 20s, I went back to the place where I knew they usually hang out, because for me, I had to get even. I went back to the place. Usually when I drive by, I would sometimes stop just to see if I noticed any one of them. They would have gotten older, but their faces were still clear. I never saw them again. If I, as an adult, had run into any of those fellas who used to pick on my best buddy, who actually was about to harass me as a kid, if I had run into them as an adult, I would have made sure they remembered what it was like to be harassed and bullied. I was planning to do it. I would have returned an eye for an arm, but I never run into them again. Never. I don't know what became of them. I guess they end up in jail or they got killed or whatever. Because with that kind of lifestyle, with that kind of attitude, that they were harassing young kids going to school just because they look different, people like that wouldn't survive for long. So I guess they didn't. Now, that's just one personal experience I've had. Witnessing how an Indian kid was bullied, harassed, traumatized by a group. There were more than 4 black men. They were over 18. No school, no jobs, because at that time of the day, what they were doing at that bus stop on bicycles, they either could have been in school or work. But they were doing neither of it. They're just normal street clothing, slippers. The hatred that I harbored since then, the disdain, the disgust, I built a resentment for people who are liming. I always had a distaste for men just chilling at the street corner, at the shop, when it is the hour that they should be in school or work. Since then, I have a distaste for it, because I understood that nothing productive can come out of such a gathering. Nothing productive, only chaos, disturbance, or they're spying out on people who they can rob. They're spying out on people who are leaving their homes to go to work, to know who's not at home and who's at home, where they can go steal and break in. Those were their activities. Those were their activities. And I witnessed that kind of abuse on a helpless Indian kid. We were both around that age group, 12. How can you fight these grown-ass Negroes, thug-like face, bullyism, shouting, raising the voice, and slapping you around? As a 12-year-old kid, how can you challenge that? I carry that experience to this day. To this day. I can't forget that. Neither can I forgive. Because I've never seen Indian men do that to a black kid. Never. So how can I forgive that? They took away that childhood experience from me. Because whenever I'm walking with my best buddy going to school, the only thing we talk about is what we're going to do in school. If there's a test, we try to test each other on the way, ask each other questions to see who's smarter. We were always competing, theoretically, testing our brains. That is what we do when we walk to school. We correct each other when we're speaking. Say, hey, that's grammatically wrong. You can't say that. You can't. This is how we were. So having him accompany me or I accompany him, we were helping each other on the way to school. And these fuckers took that from me. So for a whole term, we couldn't walk to school, we couldn't walk home. I had to physically go to his house, and when we have any tests to do, but could not come on the road, could not because of what they did. So what you see happening, that continues to happen, I can't just sit around and pretend it's none of my business. It is my business. It is my business. I can't just sit around and pretend. Because if you have not experienced the trauma, you will not understand the intimacy when it comes to seeing those things and how connected it is, how much it reminds you. Now I have the capacity to deal with those issues, address those issues. Like I said before, when I rose to the position where I had the means, the power, the connection to deal with those thugs, I went and looked for them by myself. I couldn't find them. Years after, I couldn't find them. I couldn't forgive. I wanted to get even. So imagine my position now, that as a man, and all that has happened in the world, the fact that Guyana has progressed to the status that Guyana is right now, and the fact that in 2025, you have not a sweetie stand, not a small pub on the corner of the road or somebody's lower dwellings or bottom house, not a mobile shop that sells food, not even a supermarket, but a massive multi-billion dollars investment suffer that kind of. If you look at the situation with the Middle East and how they're bombing each other, and how if a bomb drops in a neighborhood and explodes, how some of the buildings would appear, you would think that that building was bombed. That Doubleday Hotel, you would think it was bombed. You wouldn't know that human beings with their hands and whatever other means they used could have created such a damage that all the vehicles, and not only that, you witnessed they filmed themselves stealing beds, pillows, television. They are so stupid. I mean, they are the literal example of uncivilized humans. They are the real deal. When you talk about people who are uncivilized, who have no connection to reality or civilization, those were the people you saw there. Just came out of the jungle, didn't know how things work. They ran in all that heat, all that burning blaze, And their only motivation was to steal. Regardless of the consequences, they could have been shot, caught in the blaze. That was not their motivation. That was not their concern. Their concern was they saw an opportunity to steal, and they do what those people do best: steal. To think about the fact that those mattresses that they stole, hundreds of people, different kinds of people would have slept on those mattresses, would have done all kinds of kinky stuff on those mattresses. The hotels changes the sheet. They don't change the mattress, the sheet. So all that bodily fluid that would have escaped the sheet, the linen, and got into the fabric of the mattress, all those bacteria, all those DNA, everything is there. The energy of so many men and women embedded in the fabric of those mattresses. Those low-life thugs who have no clue as to how you transfer energy stole those mattresses from a hotel where many people had sex on it and took it into the private homes, private bedrooms to sleep on. To sleep on with their wives, their girlfriends, and their children. That's the mentality of the low-life thugs we have to deal with. This is why when you are dealing with them, you can't go with logics. They don't understand that. You can't go with a Bible. They don't understand that. You can't go with common sense. They are incapable of that. You have to deal with them the way hunters deal with wild animals. They can't be tamed. You got to protect yourself from them. When you see them charging, coming at you, what's the best you can do? Protect yourself. There is no negotiating with these criminals. All that devastation. And it's the end of the road. Telling the owner, who has done nothing wrong. The owner of Doubleday Hotel is the real victim. He is the real victim. Him, his family, and his staff. Nothing wrong. What have they done? All they did is to sign in people who come to use their facility. And by virtue, in the process of signing in, they would have told every guest who had an appointment to go and use the swimming pool. It could have been a Ferris wheel that you have at these circus. It could have been a zoo where when you enter with your children, they have all the signs that are telling you, do not let your kids out of your sight. They would tell you that as parents. If you go as an adult, they may want to inform you and find out if you are a swimmer as an adult. You can swim? Okay. Use the pool. If you're going with children, every hotel policy will tell you, keep your kids within your sight. They are your responsibility. Every hotel. That's a policy of Doubleday Hotel as well. You go there to use the pool, they tell you you need to take care of the children that are there. The hotel staff are not babysitters. They're not babysitters. This is why they have two sections. A section of the pool where children can be, and a section where adults can be. And they tell you, keep your eyes on your kids. They tell you that. Even splash mints tell you that. Every resort, they tell you. It's written. You can read it. So these people had all the policies and systems in place to protect themselves as a business and to protect their customers. They had the system in place. But like the typical Negroes, they don't follow rules. They're not rules-oriented people. They don't follow rules. If I feel like it, I do it. I don't feel like it, I don't do it. Do you see the traffic on the roadways? Every day there's a fight with the police. Every day. The police stop them and they resist, they put up a fight. Because somehow they are designed not to engage the mechanical part of their brain. The mechanical part of your brain is where the logics live. It's just about feelings. They don't feel like following the rules. They don't feel like. And when the damage is done, then the mechanical part of the brain is activated. Then they start regretting. Why didn't I this? Why didn't I that? Before that, they don't give a darn. You see what happens in America? Every day there is confrontation with the police and the Negroes there. Every day, every day. Why? Everybody else can follow the rules, but not them. They have to cross the road. Everybody else would run across the road. Look left, look right. The Negro crossing the road with a phone, crossing the road. It's a fact. Everybody else, an Indian, a Caucasian, a Chinese, as long as they are the stoplight and the stoplight says green, they are running across the road. The Negro walks with a phone. Everybody else runs over. He walks, she walks. And then some crazy driver hits them, and it's not their fault. If I can't trust the Ali government, this is how it is. If you can't show kindness to the people in your house, your brother, your sisters, if they ask you for something, you never have to give. But when you come in contact with a stranger, the stranger don't have to ask you. You volunteer. Who are you fooling? Who are you fooling? Because when the stranger gets to know who you are, the stranger will never have regards for whatever kindness you supposedly show the stranger. Because in the person's mind, you are dogging your relatives in your house and you're pretending to be nice to me. What happens when I become a familiar? then I'm gonna just fall in the same position by default. You see, charity begins at home. Security starts with home. If you can't protect the people in your house, how can you provide security for the neighbor? You leave your people with no protection, and you are touting that you have the ability to protect somebody else you're interested in. That's being hypocritical. That's being delusional and stupid. So I've often said, throughout the history of Guyana, the history is there. We'll read it yourself. There are people who are still living, who are still traumatized. Some people end up in mad houses, some on drugs, alcoholics, because of what they saw, what they have seen, experienced by their family during the Barnum regime. They couldn't deal with it. The fact that they did not have the means to avenge that cruelty. They didn't have the means to get justice. They took it on themselves, committed suicide, went out of their minds, left the country permanently, never to return again, because they couldn't address it. Some are still alive today, still dealing with it. They have seen it as kids, now they're adults. They're still traumatized. And still to this day, look around the world of all the things that has happened to allegedly to certain groups of people. They never let you forget it. They teach their history in school. They want you to know what their ancestors experienced. There is no textbook in Guyana, no textbook that makes reference to the 60s and what happened to the Indians in Guyana. No textbook. You don't hear it. No independent celebration do they repeat this. All we get, Martyrs Day. That's all we get. And the Enmore Martyrs Day is where a group of Indians were killed by the white man. That's what we celebrate. We celebrate the abolition of slavery. We reminded the people how much blacks suffered under the whites for the freedom from slavery. That's what we celebrate. Enmore Martyrs, and when slavery was abolished. But nowhere on the calendar. And by the way, how many people were martyred by virtue of a protest or rebellion against the masters, the white masters? How many people? How many people do we remember? How many persons were shot? Indians, indentured laborers, were shot during that time. Was it in the tens, 20s, hundreds, thousands? How many? Yet we observe that. We celebrate it. We remember it. Now consider how many people were massacred. It's not like they went on protest. It's not that they were fighting for some kind of independence. No, they were just peaceful, law-abiding Indo-Guyanese families in Wisma who were living apart, contributing towards the development of Wisma Town. had nothing to do with politics, living their lives. And yet they were targeted, run out of their homes, got their lands stolen. And not just that, they were killed, murdered, mutilated, raped. For what? What was their crime? Just being Indo-Guyanese. That was their crime. You talk about it in America. What was the crime of the blacks there? Oh, they're just being black people. Yeah. Well, these people in Wisma, they were just being Indo-Guyanese. Hardworking farmers on the East Coast. They're just being hardworking Indo-Guyanese. In 2020, the riots, they were just being hardworking Indo-Guyanese. Recently, the Doubleday Hotel, just a hard-working Indo-Guyanese. The ones who had the acid thrown in their faces, they were just being hard-working, law-abiding Indo-Guyanese. That was their crime. How many got justice to this day? How many people were held accountable for what happened in Wisma? What happened on the East Coast? What happened 2020? What happened 2025? How many people are before the courts, were before the courts, were sentenced, faced time, or executed for the murderous actions against the Indo-Guyanese? How many black people paid for that? Zero. Hence, my position. Irfan Ali, Barajagdio, Donald Romata, you have failed. You failed to protect, to give justice to your own people. You failed. What is your excuse? Ramatar promised to provide security. Jagdeo promised to provide security. Irfan promised to provide security. Now we are in 2025. No security. What do you guys need? What is lacking? What is lacking? What are you afraid of? What is lacking? You're afraid of those hideous faces from the Negroes? Their voices? What? They seem to be muscular? That's your fear? That's your fear? Don't you think they have those like that in America? In Europe? They're everywhere. But why is it that you're the only one afraid of them? The other people aren't afraid of them, but just you. The other countries and governments are dealing with them accordingly. But you have the largest population in Guyana of Indo-Guyanese, but yet you are afraid of these people that nobody else is afraid of. But you are afraid of them because they have the balls to break into your house and steal your stuff, but you don't have the balls to defend yourself against them. I said before, all this political talk about protecting, that is just to get your votes and not to piss off the black people. These politicians now are just talking what they have to say, not to offend potential black voters, but at the same time to give some amount of hope to their Indian base. They have done that forever. But yet in 2025, let's be honest here, Let us be honest. In 2025, how many Indians in Guyana can leave their homes after 6 without fear of being robbed, killed? How many? 2025. Any part of the country, not just Georgetown, any part of the country. How many Indians can build a house without grills? How many Indians can go to sleep without having a weapon under his bed or close by? How many? 2025. How many young Indian female can go out after 6 alone in Guyana right now? How many? You get my point? You get my point, right? This is not just about talking. Show the evidence. The people don't trust you to protect them. We recently had a One Guyana show, this gospel show. And speaking of One Guyana show, I want to thank President Irfan Ali for the concept of that show. You see, that one Guyana show is not a black invention. It's not a black invention. It's an Ali invention. President Irfan Ali, with his creative genius, the heart that the man have to continue to bind the country, bind the nation of Guyana with cords of love, bind them together with cords of love. Created the idea of One Guyana. Dream up these ideas of having these concerts to bring the people together. President Irfan Ali deserves the credit for that recent gospel show they had, One Guyana. President Irfan Ali. And he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim. And all the participants there were Christians. But that Muslim demonstrated that he is a real president and made sure that they had the resources, the support to produce one of the best and biggest shows in Guyana's history, that One Guyana gospel show. But we are forgetting the brainchild behind it, the president. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Oh, I see. You see, when you are so dark within your heart, you are so bitter and racial, you don't even know why. You have no idea why you hate the president. You don't know why. Because the PNC tells you to hate the president, you hate the president. But that show that you enjoyed, that show that you went to, that show that brought thousands of people of all walks of life, Christians, non-Christians, Muslims, Hindu, atheists, all kinds of people. It was an idea. It was a creation. It was an invention of one man, President Irfan Ali. You think he'll come out and say that? No, he wouldn't. But a lot of you need to know that. A lot of you need to know that the president is behind that show. Well, that rhymes. You need to know that. But these shows where you have all these gangsters and criminals from Jamaica, these Vibes cartel people, these low-life scums. Oh, that's not president. That's the ghetto. That is the ghetto. But these shows that you have that brings people together spiritually, speaks of harmony, unity, those shows is Ali. President Ali has been behind that recent gospel show you see there, the One Guyana show. So PNC supporters, you went to a show of the president. Maybe next time he should host it. He should host his own show. Maybe next time. But I support it. Because while the others are plotting, promoting, and devising plan to divide the country, Irfan Ali is thinking of ways to unite the people of Guyana. He's thinking of how he could do that. And that One Guyana gospel show was not a black thing. It was a Guyanese thing for all the different ethnic groups who were represented there. That was the initiative, not to get votes, but to unite the people, so that all of those people who are planning to commit crime and to break into people's homes and steal and terrorize people, the intention of the president was to, hey, come to the show. See how people worship, how people have a common theme of peace and harmony. So when they leave that show, all the crimes they were thinking about, it is deleted from their minds. But when they go to these programs with Buju something and Vibes Cartel and these people, it's crime, drugs, robbery, murder, ghetto, rape, sexual abuse. All those things happen at these shows from these Jamaican and these other people. That's why the ghetto is so stigmatized. Stuff never works. Give the president credit for the One Guyana show. This thing that you have with the PNC rally the other day, Aubrey Norton, you're done. Aubrey Norton, you are fired. You are fired. Your people fire you and they hire Azruddin Mohamed. Azruddin Mohamed is hired by the PNC supporters. Aubrey Norton, you should step down. Forget about it. Save yourself the embarrassment. Don't go through with the elections. Forget about it. Concede. Because you're done. Your people thinks you are a disgrace. Your people thinks you are a disgrace. One of the worst election performance in the history of elections is what happened at the Square of the Revolution under the APNU banner. One of the worst. You guys are not getting better. You guys are getting worse. You are desperate. You are nervous. And that thing that you performed, whenever it was, that was not against Irfan Ali. You were trying, Aubrey Norton and the PNC, you were trying to save the little votes you have from Azruddin Mohamed. That was a show directly against Mohamed. It was not the PPP. Because the PPP, the black people who are supporting the PPP, wants nothing to do with you. They don't want to hear from you. So your program that day was against and targeted Azruddin Mohamed and his Win party, because that's where your voters will go. Your issue, Aubrey Norton, is Azruddin. He is your biggest threat because you guys are no competition. You guys are no match for Ali. Really. You should just have an election between you and Azruddin Mohamed to see who's going to be the opposition leader. But President Ali has no time to waste with you. Neither of you. This battle is between you, Aubrey Norton, and Azruddin Mohamed. Not even Nigel Hughes. Nigel Hughes is irrelevant. All these other females are irrelevant. They're not important. They're going to watch me in this. They're secretly making deals with Barra Jagdeo and the PPP. Secretly making deals. Before the election, what's this woman's name again? That left recently? Amanda Walser. Whatever. She is making deals with PPP. Right now, she's secretly making deals to step over to the PPP camp. Before the election, she might. She wants a ministry. She might just watch, you'll see. This other one, Simona Brooms, or whoever she calls herself, she likes to sue people. But let me just say this. Simona Brooms, it is my view. It is my view. I have no evidence. It is my view, my opinion, that you didn't get the right figure. That's why you still have not joined the PPP. You didn't get the deal you're looking for. It is my view. Don't go sending me lawsuits now. I'm saying it's a matter of opinion. I'm not accusing you. I'm saying, based on what's happening, the fact that you have not yet gone over to the PPP is because they're not talking your talk yet. Maybe you want to be Minister of Social Services. You know, maybe that's what you, but PPP has a lot of good people. I don't think they'll give you that. Yeah, you guys are obsessed with this minister thing. But Amanda Walser Desir, before elections, is going to publicly endorse Irfan Ali. She's going to liquidate that sham of a party she started and join with these other lunatics. And she's going to go with the PPP. Because that's what these black people do. They hustle. If it song's right there, they go there. They're hustlers. So this other idiot who on camera at the PPP PNC rally, how much people they had there? Like 200 or 300 people? I'll give them 1,000. You know, I'm generous. I think 1,000 black people from Alboystown and Buxton and Agricola and those other places, I think they showed up at the square of the revolution to pay homage to the Demon King and his agents and listen to the crap they had to talk about. So 1,000 people showed up there. So I give you that. At least you were able to pull 1,000 people to come out and listen to your nonsense, Aubrey Norton. But the time is up. Read the room. And that elections gimmick that you had there, it's showing you the room, the writing is on the wall, and showing you that, hey, the supporters that you used to have following you, they're now at Win, because Win gives them Chinese food. Yeah, Win gives them Chinese food with a beer and condoms. Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't? Yes. Win give them condoms. Win tells them, hey, don't go making babies now. Wait until I get into government. Then you can get pregnant. Then I can give you maybe 120,000 per child. For now, take the free beer, take the free Chinese food, use a condom. What do you give them, Aubrey Norton? What do you give them? Promises? Empty promises. They're gone with Win. Read the room. You are done. Azruddin Mohamed has replaced you. already. Nobody's talking about you, Norton. Nobody's talking about you. The only people who are sharing your videos are new people who are in the executive, like this homosexual, like this person, Shara Duncan. He is sharing your stuff. And this other person, Mark Benchcop. Speaking of Mark Benchcop, Mark Benchcop, one of your buddies from the school that you attended in Berbice, somewhere there in Berbice, one of your buddies said that you were bisexual in school. You didn't have a girlfriend, but he knew that you had a crush on a girl, but you were, your buddy said that. One of them. But I guess you were young, you were exploring and seeing where you fit in the life. I guess it's a thing. You know, I guess it's a thing. Maybe you have not resurrected that part of you while you were in the prison for so long. Maybe you stayed straight, you know, maybe it didn't come out. But one of your buddies said that. You see, I'm not holding stuff for some other time. As I hear it, I'll say it. But one of your buddies said that. I'm not telling you, I'll tell you another time. No. One of them said that. What's it with PNC members? Because Rickford Burke, you attended Stewartville Secondary School. Rickford Burke. You had a boyfriend too. Rickford Burke. Yeah. I know what's funny. He was Indian. East Indian. Rickford Burke. You naughty boy. You had a boyfriend in secondary school, Stewartville Secondary School. And you used to go to his house. And his parents treated you so well. So well. They think you guys were best friends, like brothers. They didn't know what was happening. And to know that now I understand why you have such hatred for Indo-Guyanese. Your teenage boyfriend broke your heart. And you carrying that animosity till now. Oh my gosh. I understand. This is personal. What's it with the PNC camp and bisexuals? The women and the men. What's wrong with you guys? No wonder you're hating on these straight men. No wonder you're cussing Nandalal and cussing Bar Jagdin, cussing Ali. No wonder. Shame on you. You need Jesus. You should have gone to that. Oh, you can't leave the country. I forgot. They have one in New York too. Yeah, that's Ali as well. That's Ali as well. When is that coming up? You can go there. Maybe you can find Jesus there. Yes. Ask for forgiveness. Yeah, you can. So this woman on the PNC camp, one of the so-called talkers for Aubrey Norton, she said on camera, I wish I can show you the clip, but she said on camera, yes, President Ali is doing a great job. Look at Guyana. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Then what are you doing here? Why aren't you not at the PPP camp? Why aren't you not at the PPP rally? If President Ali is doing such great things for Guyana, why the fuck you here? Are these losers? where nobody has come. You are the only one who has come to the invitation. Why are you here? But she's still voting for PNC. The PPP is doing great. Guyana is great. But she's still voting for PNC. You see why you can't trust these Negroes? Just because Ali is an Indian, it doesn't matter what he has done for the country. It doesn't matter that the world has seen where Guyana has come. It doesn't matter that Guyanese are living a better quality of life. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the same woman suffered under the PNC 2015, 2020, suffered. It doesn't matter. The fact that President Ali is an Indo-Guyanese, she rather vote for the party that punished her because they are black. And she is black. When I tell you don't trust these Negroes, you think I'm just saying stuff. They're only nice to you because you can give them bread money, beer money, drugs money, and a free ride. They're nice to you. But when it comes to standing up with you for justice, for right, for prosperity, that's where the color thing comes into play. That's when their racism is ignited. They don't have any reason to vote for PNC other than the fact that PNC is a black man's party. They have no other reason, none whatsoever. If they are fair people, if they are fair, law-abiding, God-fearing people, PNC will get 0 votes. The only people who will vote for the PNC are the criminals in the prison that they want to be allowed to vote. Those people are the people who will vote for the PNC. But because there's so much of racism in the hearts of the typical Negro in Guyana, it doesn't matter what the Indians do. It doesn't matter what the government does. The fact that they're not a black government, fuck it. We ain't voting for them. And Freddie Kisson. I used to admire you back in the day. I thought you were a brilliant writer. Brilliant writer. I used to read most of, a matter of fact, if I have an assignment and I want an idea, I would check your column. I get a lot of my ideas from Freddie Kisson's column when he was writing for the, Starbuck News. You were it, Freddie. I admire you. The same way I admired Enrico Wolford, I admire you. You're brilliant. What happened? Freddie Kisson, is it age? Are you in a midlife crisis? You should pass midlife crisis because Freddie Kisson, you were old since I was a kid. You are the same way. You have aged long before. It's like you're stuck on this time factor. You're stuck on that. But what happened, Freddie? Why do you have so much hatred in your heart for Bara Jagdeo and the PPP? You were one of the persons who have witnessed the atrocities that the Barnum regime visited upon the Indo-Guyanese. You were one of them. What happened? How could you have so much self-hatred that because you did not find favor with Bara Jagdeo, you had a vendetta during the time when he was president. Since then, you had a vendetta to get back at the man. Did it work, Freddie Kisson? Did it work? No, because Jagdeo had how many terms as president? Jagdeo has arrived at the status of the greatest politician, despite your hatred for him, despite you use your platform, you use your columns to attack the man back in the day, despite all of that, it did not prevent Jagdeo's ascension, his growth, his greatness. It didn't. You have to know when to quit. So by default, your hatred for Jagdeo, anybody who's associated in a government where Jagdeo might have some prominence, you have issues with. You've gone past that stage when you can be recruited. The PPP cannot recruit you. You've passed that stage. You should be in retirement and enjoy your pension. Thanks to Irfan Ali, enjoy your pension. And speaking of pension, that other idiot you have as your co-host, so-called Seventh-day Adventist. You see how hypocritical these Negroes are? He is a Seventh-day Adventist who can't be online on Saturday from Friday 6 o'clock to Saturday 6 o'clock. Oh, he's spiritual. He's an auspicious person. He is a good Seventh-day Adventist, a Ellen G. White follower. He believes in the advent of Christ. He keeps the Sabbath. He's a Sabbath keeper. Yes, that he is not available to be online or be with Freddie Kisson to interact with the followers on Saturday. So people are supposed to have some kind of special reverence for this Negro. Special reverence. Oh my gosh, this is brother this. Oh, brother this cannot come online because he's a Sabbath keeper. Didn't he read the part where he should not get involved in politics? Or he didn't read that part of the Seventh-day Adventist literature? To be a true Adventist, stay out of the affairs of politics and government? You didn't read that part. Fucking hypocrite. And you have Freddie Kisson luring you to make he look good, to make him look good, but you forget that you are a hypocrite. You are an embarrassment of the good, decent Seventh-day Adventists in Guyana. Why don't you do some evangelism work? I am sure Mikel Rodriguez, the critic, I'm sure he would give you some free time. I am sure he would give the Seventh-day Adventists some free time on his political platform. Isn't that what the Guyanese critic does? He's a political pundit for the PPP. But yet you have this idiot, this Seventh-day Adventist idiot, and this jackass, Freddie Kisson, taking the free publicity and the free platform that is provided them by this PPP pundit, the Guyanese critic, and they are on this man's platform, which was made possible by the support and financial investment from the government, which is a PPP government, and they're cussing and talking and trying to belittle, humiliate, and divert votes from the PPP to whoever, and they're on a pro-PPP platform for free. Freddie Kisson, why don't you go on AppNew platform? Go on this person, Sherrod, whatever, go on his platform. Go get free time there. You're talking about Jagdeo, you're talking about Ali, you're talking about the government, and you're voicing unjust criticism. I mean, a man of your caliber, it's a disgrace. But yet, you're on this Guyanese critic platform Had it not been for the PPP and the Ali government, do you think the Guyanese critic could have built what he built? What happened during the time of 2015, 2020? All of the things that you are enjoying right now, all the luxury, the comfort that you are enjoying being on a platform for free, it was made possible under the government of President Irfan Ali that you are ungrateful to. Freddie Kisson. How do you think that man built his studio? Because of the earnings, the contracts, the earnings that he would have secured through their tender process of billing or whatever, the man built his studio. There is no public information that the Guyanese critic secured contracts under the PNC. None. Everything that has happened under the Ali government. You are enjoying that facility for free. And you are being a typical Negro, though you're an Indian. And you're trying to subliminally incite discourse with the following because you think you can penetrate a few Indians negatively against the PPP government. If you are so hateful towards the Ali government or Jagdeo, whatever issues you have, whatever, then why would you come and want to enjoy the facility of people who are known pro Jagdeo or Ali supporters? If I know people's sentiments who might be against the PPP, I would not accommodate them for nothing. Not even with their money, I would not accommodate them. Because I don't want people who are anti-government around me. I'm pro-government. I'm pro-PPP. I'm pro-Ali. I will not associate my enterprise, my business, or my platform with anybody who is anti-government, Ali or so on. And PPP don't fund me, but yet I'm loyal to my core. But you guys are enjoying what PPP has made possible, and you're cussing the PPP. It's like you come into a man's house, he's giving you a room to stay plus free food, but you're hitting on his wife. Shame on you, Freddie Kisson. Shame on you. Stick to writing. But then again, you can't. You are a disgrace. And that man, your co-presenter or co-whoever, you guys are alike. You look alike. He's black, you're Indian, but you look alike. You have that ghetto stamp on you. Yeah, it's like a thug signature. But that's what happens when you have failed. And Freddie Kisson, you have failed. As a professional, you have failed. The fact that you had such prominence in the media. I was a kid, I used to read your columns. And after all this time, you made nothing of your life. You hated on the PPP, hated on the PPP. You should have joined them. You should have joined them. Then your life would have been progressive, just like the people who are PPP supporters. But you decide to go with the depressed party, the poor man's party. You decide to go with them. And look at you today. Look at your accomplishments today. That you have to come and beg for free time on a man who just came on the scene and used his sense to build his brand. Now you are hustling and you were in the system long before everybody else, but made nothing of your prominence of yourself. You are the typical Negro. I can understand why you have this co-presenter. It makes you feel at home. Oh, bodies. Black together, stick together. You're hating on the wrong people, Freddie. You still have some time to seek redemption. Apologize to Jagdeo, join the PPP, change your story, and maybe you'll get good retirement, because the PPP takes care of their people, of their seniors. The PNC don't. They send you out to do security work. They tell you go work. You still got something in you. Go do some watchman or security work somewhere. That's what PNC does to their people. PPP no. Hey, daddy, Opa, grandfather, stay there. We'll provide for you. Niggas don't do that. They send your ass out to work. Hustle, do something. Indians don't do that to the older folks. So you are in the wrong camp. And like I said before, and I emphasize, if you are so good, you know so much, why are you on the critic platform getting attention, using free facility, knowing that all of that was made possible by the sponsorship, the contracts from the PPP government? You are a hypocrite, Freddie Kisson, and a loser. And that Adventist guy you have next to you, you should go repent to Ellen G. White. Go repent to Ellen G. White, get rebaptized, and become a good Christian. A good Christian. But both of you are fucking losers. Anyway. Yeah, today's a New Year's Day. I shouldn't be, I should behave. But I'll see you again next time. Thanks to all the persons who've been so kind. You can still be kind, it's not a problem. Contact me on Facebook, send a message, or TikTok, send a message. And I'm going to tell you how you can make that possible. I'll give you the information, but I can't do it here. I'll tell you that, or if you have the number, you can just send me a text, send me an app or something. But until next time, let me read some live chat. I almost forgot that. Okay. I got to get this. I can't. I'm not. It's kind of blurry. When I get my glasses, I'm gonna read stuff like that. But right now, it's yeah, okay. Anyway, you read it yourself. Thanks for watching.